Yo! Is this thing on? How y'all doing out there? Hopefully well. It's Friday, you guys. It is Friday. We made it through another one. And today we get to celebrate you. We were going to take a look at a really awesome plugin. I'm going to postpone that till Monday because I just realized that, and I haven't even looked at it yet, but Saffron posted a new album. And I think we should listen to a couple of tracks off of that today instead of looking at the plugin. And we'll look at the plugin on Monday. You guys still get your special links and all that kind of stuff. It's really cool. It's a melody making thing. It's really awesome. But I would so much rather dig into what Saf has been working on for the past several months because I'm sure that he's cooked up something awesome. How are you guys? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Who's here? Kwame's here. Cayenne's here. Saffron's here. Roku's here. Who else is here? Saffron, you were first today. OhmLab is here. Zev is here. What's shaking, Will? Miss you, homie. How you been? You got an exciting update, huh? Cayenne, you did not miss Feedback Friday. Lucky you. Kwame, how have you been, sir? SoulCarX, welcome in. Happy Friday. Ludi, my dear gazelle, how are you? Visor, music. Welcome in, sir. You saved me from my boredism. Likewise. So cheers. Harold, welcome in. Aloha to you as well. Roku Sai is here, the one and only. Everybody say hello. Roku. OhmLab, yeah, it's been a minute. We're not ever gonna forget you, though. Is the album on SoundCloud, so you can repost. It looks like it's on Bandcamp. And Saffron, please feel free to spam the chat. Everybody in the community always has my permission to spam the chat with links to an album that they've just released, as long as it's not like intentionally offensive material, right? Like towards a specific community. Anything other than that, you drop links in the chat whenever you release a new album. Ayo, Rokusai is making some lasagna over there. Fill us in, Roku. Walk us through these layers of your lasagna. What you got going on over there? There's some weird digital soup in the background, isn't it? Kwame is saying, I've got to run to a meeting in 20 minutes, but is it okay if I post a song and come back after the meeting around 2:30 Eastern time? Well, let me think. That's math. So, yes, 45 minutes from now. Ludi, shouting into the ethers. Any vocalists here? Whoa! Well, Will has been in India for the past 2.5 weeks and sick for about half of it. That sounds about right? First day's amazing, second day is awful, and then after you're mended. Oh, sick again. Oh no. Welcome back to the States where everybody's sick. How's the Chris? Visor Music is asking. I'm doing all right. It is Friday. And you know what? The sun is out, which is pretty nice. We went from, this is no joke, we went from us being so encased in ice here that my kid missed 11 days of school in a row, right? It was like inches of ice. Literally like 60 degrees, like overnight. We had my kid's birthday party last weekend, right? At this arcade down the street. And we're driving down the street, and I look up at him in the mirror and he goes, "It's warm." And I was like, "Yeah." And I looked down at the dashboard and it said, "It's 67 degrees outside." It's like, holy crap, man. It's like, happy birthday, dude. It's summer and it's in the middle of winter. It's weird. But yeah, so got some sunshine energy today. Kwame has survived another round of layoffs. I feel like we have entered that stage in our human existence where we all kind of roll the dice every week. So we should celebrate when we've still got our stuff going on at the end of each week, I think. Is that like too apocalyptic? Ardlap, no worries. Let's go over this for just in case anybody might be lurking in the shadows out there and doesn't know the rules of Feedback Friday. First and foremost, if you're going to post something, it's got to be yours. It can't be anything that we're going to get a copyright flag for. We would truly appreciate to actually be able to help you with something that you're working on. So a work in progress is so much better than something that has already been released, because you can't change the thing that's already been released, right? 1 track per person. If you're really, really, really wanting feedback on something else, you can post another one a little bit later, and we'll, if we have time at the end of the stream, we'll get to it. That's how that goes. We don't do hopping in front of other people in line unless you're someone that's been in the community for a very long time, and we make special exceptions for family. You can't pay to get ahead. Those are basically the rules. Nothing horribly offensive to any specific community, and that's it. That's it. Bring whatever kind of music you want, and we're going to help you try to make it sound even better. But we're not going to try and change your creativity. OhmLab says, I recently released an EP. Nice, dude. It's very anagramma. Works that cryptic means, but nothing vulgar or racist. This is something that you should record. You should read that into a microphone, Saf, and then reverse it and stutter it and glitch it and build a track around it. It's very anagramma, works the cryptic means, but nothing vulgar or racist. Solkar, thank you. Oh, let's take a look really quick for those that want to cook up the same kind of soup at home. This is what we've got going on. We've got 2 instances of a metaphysical function hack called metaphysical scenery. Yet these are actually a couple of slightly twisted metaphysical fabrications. Anyway, got a little Exo in the background. Each one of these things is running through some portal. Mostly basic stuff. There's a little shaper box on one of these things. A little crunch, time manipulation. A little molecular for the digital wing bats. All right. I'm going to turn that back down. Yo, is that Quirky? Oh! Don't give up. Quirky, you know what? Colleges, if you really actually want to get into one, to each their own. They're just like labels, homie. You got a blanket. You just got to send out a whole bunch. Got to send out a whole bunch, and if you get one that says no, you just whatever. Like, that's recycling. That's it. Use that as scratch, man. You know, write a song on the back of that thing. Seriously. Work, seriously though, you're gonna get in somewhere, and it's gonna be awesome. Just don't stop making noise, okay? Roku. Jules is here. Welcome in. Welcome in. Harold says, Roku, I feel confident. Rokusai says, I feel skeptical. Ludi says, I'm looking for a vocalist for a release by a well-known German artist. Label, Black Hole Recordings by Tiesto. Please DM me. This is again from Ludi. If you are interested or you have someone that might be interested, Ludi's looking for a vocalist, a release by a well-known German artist. Label is Black Hole Recordings by Tiesto. DM him directly. All right. I think we should just jump into some stuff. Just Bubbles, welcome in. Dude, Rokusai, go grab this. Let's go grab this little guy. It might already be in the user library. You might just want to, like, just type in Goni. What do you get? OhmLab is saying, you think you could check some stuff out? These are 10-second clips of the animation with sound effects. Yes, absolutely. We will absolutely review all sound design stuff with you. Just Bubble says, hi, I'm a vocalist. If you are a vocalist and you want to talk with Ludi, DM. Saf says rejection is hard to go through. Word. Word. All right, speaking of Saf, we are going to start off with Saffron. Regardless who's first in line in the queue, we haven't looked yet, but Saffron has been here since day one, and he's released a new album, and we're going to listen to a track off of that thing. OhmLab, excellent. Yeah, it's a good one, right, Roku? It's the LR phase meter. If you're looking for the name of it inside of one of these things. For those of you who do not know, anything that runs inside of Reaktor can be hacked. You can just crack open the back end of it and start looking at what is inside and how it is made. And what goes into the various bits and bobs that make it a thing. So that's what Reaktor's all about. OhmLab, if you are first in line on Discord, then yes, you are right after Saf. We're going to check that really quick. Feedback. Yes, you are right after Saf. And we're going to quit this background noise. We're not quitters. Will, you got me wondering what your update is, homie. We're going to have to catch up. I hope you feel better soon. Let's just grab a notepad really quick. And you guys see these things. And we're not reviewing, we're not like providing feedback for Saf. This is something that he just released. Please show your support. New mini album is out. Let's do this. I'm just going to start with the very first one. Chat and welcome in. Saffron says, I just learned ozone, so bear with me.
vein of the destiny of Aryan man runs the blood of the mythical race called by Madame Blavatsky the Aryans.
Okay, we're gonna pause this here. We're gonna come back to this. Saf, I would really like to just talk for a long time about a whole bunch of stuff that I'm hearing here. But we're gonna go listen to the next track because it is Feedback Friday and we must move forward. But I will say this, man, level ups abound. We are one track into this, and I'm already gonna say you should feel very proud of what you've put out. It sounded really great, dude. It's got your signature sound, and all the right pieces in the right places. But even more than that, you've dialed in so many different skill sets over the past few years that you can hear each one of these individual elements in a certain way. That's pretty tasty. I'm looking forward to the next track, homie. It's good stuff. Joel said, for some reason, it reminded me of Burial. Chadden says, I'm very confused by this music. That is the purpose. Yeah. What is the right Discord channel, says Caro? We are looking at public feedback, sir. And we are going to be starting off. Oh, man. There we go, OhmLab. Saf, don't forget to post your link to your new album and everybody show some support, share it, give it a thumbs up, all that good stuff. Listen to it a bunch. This next one is from OhmLab. It's a bass house track. I experimented with car sounds, tried to implement them in the song as an instrument. Okay, I like this. I like this. Let's roll.
bitch, I go loco. wondering what the fastest car in the world is? There's a good chance it's a Bugatti. Making 1,500 horsepower, its 16-cylinder, 8-liter two-stage turbocharger is a beast of an engine. Equipped with that engine, the Bugatti Super Sport became the very first production car to ever break 300 miles per hour. It's hell of a beast.
Okay, our lap. This is seriously dope. And it's been a minute, so it's been. Um, I mean, so it's really nice to hear you. Really good to hear. Car sounds can kind of take a back seat, but as the bass drops there, I felt like there's a little bit too much low end in the car themselves, or not low end, maybe mid low. Like if you could scoop around 250 or 350 and get a little bit of the thickness out of there, I think you'd feel a little bit more throaty effect from the revving of the engine. And then shave off the sub frequencies, more of the sub frequencies on that car, because it's going to help you kind of accentuate and define the edges of that kind of grumble. The luffs are big, but the mix is pretty smooth. So for the most part, it's not hurting. But there were several points in the track where I was like, man, if the luffs were just down two right here, this whole moment would feel like so much more impressive, so much more like organically fluid. Um, So I bring the low end cutoff up to 45 hertz just overall at 12 dB per octave curve. You're still going to keep the large majority of all those sub frequencies, but you're going to shave off just a little bit of the most rumbly frequencies. Man, there were so many moments where just, oh man. And I wasn't dropping timestamps, I've just realized. This would have been around the play here and
Making 1,500 horsepower. Horsepower engine. It's hella.
I think it's around the 2 minute mark. Just on the delivery of this synth, this main shaping modulator that's affecting the filter, it'd be great if there was a secondary modulator on there. Subtle depth, not like a huge amount of change over time. Just so each time that modulator is having an effect on the delivery of the sound, it's just slightly altered, so it's not quite as predictable. Just really incredible arrangement overall. Really great stuff. Fantastic dialogue thread, by the way. 310 is one of these moments where you can kind of hear that the luffs, like the maximized loudness, it's a bit too artificial, and things are kind of reaching this point where they're not feeling as super awesome as the rest of it. 327, wanting another cinematic element here to really amplify the vibe. It could be something like an impact that has a bit of resonance and it kind of, washes out, like the top end of it kind of washes out into an atmosphere. Or it could be some sort of like field recording or environmental sound effect that gives it a little bit more environmental context or proximity effect. Anything that can increase that vibe of cinematic. And then at 346, it'd be great if there was actually a suckback in that transition. There were many elements happening at once there, and I felt like all of them were kind of coming up to the same fever pitch position, and it'd be great if that didn't happen. If only a couple of them came up there. So when you do put a suckback in there, you can actually feel that there is this huge rise, and it's all just like, right? And then you've got the mix on the other side. The wubs are super tight in this whole thing. All of your modulation is super on point. Two things to watch out for. I'd watch out for around 2K on the sides with that added maximization, those luffs, pushing those frequencies out there. They get a little wiggly. And then the range of between 40 hertz and 340 hertz in some of your mid-range elements can be tighter, right? Like definitely don't chop off all the life force and gravity of your individual sounds, but there is definitely room for you to shave off some frequencies down there, and that's going to make all of your basses sound a little bit more tight, a little bit more present. So super awesome. Hey, Nano's here. What's up, Ben? How you doing? OhmLab says, this is the best feedback I've received. Hey, excellent. Oh, Will, sick day, not moving from bed. Everybody send Will good vibes. Oh, Comcast is being a dick again. On mine? On my end? Oh, man. Oh, man. All these people talk about hearing problems in the chat. Take care of your ears, everybody. Rokusai says, OhmLab, watch your low end on individual elements. He's picking up on the same thing I'm picking up on. I hear some unneeded masking going on. There's more to be gained for sure by meticulous, especially in, or be meticulous, especially in the busy mix like this. Track is stellar. Love the arrangement and surprises. I'd say you're 95% there with the mix. Clean it up and let's go to the club. Yeah, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. All the way around. Dope. Everybody loves it. I just ordered soup. Heal me. Oh, you live in an age where you can just order soup when you don't feel good and it will come doorstep. Hot. Stealing the heel. Oh no. Nano, are you sick too? Speaking of Will, here's Will. Everybody follow Zev. Everybody give OhmLab a follow too. Everybody follow Zev. Always making moves. Sometimes in India. What were you doing in India? This one's called Smoke and Mirrors. We're on V3 now with more guitar. Do this. Oh, nice. Good wedding. Oh, man. destinations. Yo, Will, what kind of chip? Tortilla? What do I mean by memorable? Okay, so like you've got this cool moment with the guitar loop, right? And then it kind of washes out into this transition. And then before, like right before you get into this outro groove. So somewhere in here, maybe somewhere around the I don't know, 4.5 or something, maybe like four, somewhere in here. I think it'd be really cool to just do something completely unexpected. Um, Let me go back to the guitar part. Okay, right here. What if, so this is at 408, right? So what if there's this, hmm, I don't know, maybe kind of like dark moment, right? Where it's like, it's this kind of filtered down space. Um, Kind of immersive, not swampy, more like open and expansive, but with some darker noises. Um, I don't know. I could definitely hear like an opportunity to play with maybe some reversed sounds with some reversed guitar coming out of it back up into this full mix or something like that. But with a really cool fill, right, coming out of it. Um, I just feel like there's a moment here that could be tapped into. Um, Subtle touches on that guitar loop right before that moment. Gentle stutter, surprise reversal, clever little gate effect. Really like the washout into the transition. Super smooth. Delay tails are super on point. Like the timing of all the delay is great. It's really good. Really good stuff. Braving the world for nachos. Yeah. Sorry for the confusion. Post drop. Yes. And I hope you feel better, homie. Okay, so right before we listen to Kion, we've got something in my DMs here. Let's listen to that. These are 3 sound effects made for the end. Okay, and we can see these. It's on. Okay, I would say there are a couple of things that stand out to me in this one. One is that the low end is super beefy, kind of throughout, and I would reserve the super uh, low end impact stuff for just a couple of moments in that entire thing. So pick the 2 moments, right? Like the big magic slicing impact thing, that's got to have the moment. But the quickly articulating movements at the very front of this sequence, let's listen to this one more time right here. Okay, so right here you've got this boom, boom, boom. If you were to shave off some of that low end, you're going to feel the delivery of this match the visuals and the environment a little bit more, right? It feels like this is kind of close quarter, um, uh, like really intimate impact, uh, yeah, really big kind of space. So I feel like there's a little bit of extra compression being applied here too. Let's listen to the next one. Timing of everything though, like your sync on all of it is really nice. Let's listen to this. too much low end distortion in this one. You got the right idea, and the timing is right, and you've got the right sounds too, I think. There is, though, the same problem as with the first one where the sounds are a little bit bigger than the visuals and the environment that they're in. So I would probably back off the compression on the space and the low end, and kind of just wrangle it back just a little bit. This isn't, um, the big final fight sequence in a Marvel movie, right? This is much smaller environment. So I would probably err on that side. Let's listen to this one. All your sounds are right. All right, slow down and zoom in on this pitch drop moment right here. I think you can tighten up the timing of that pitch drop and make it end here instead of here. So it's almost 1 second later. It's really the only timing thing that I've noticed in any of these. Same feedback though, less compression on the low end and environmental space. Palette of sounds is really good. The shaping of stuff is really good. Your sync points are really great. Really solid. Your timing of everything is really good. This is more one of those area for improvement is in the believability realm, because you've got to correlate the size of the impacts and environment and characters and weapons and all of that kind of stuff. So just dial back the compression and the low end first, because I think all of your sounds and timing are right. So if that stuff isn't as exaggerated, it should feel much more in line, right? If you go and you look at some games and some shows, like go look at some Ninjago. Like that's probably a really good reference point, honestly. If you're familiar with it, it's a Lego animation. There are a fair number of different weapon types, and there are some finishing moves and whatnot. So there is some kind of modern sound design around some of those moments. Yeah, yeah, you're very much there with your palette of sounds and all your sync though. It's really good. But what do I do if the developer wants to see these specific sounds to be distorted? Oh no, you distort them. It's just like on the second one. Okay. So it's just too much in the sub frequencies. The low end is being distorted too much. So what you do is you remove those lowest frequencies, like all the frequencies between like 20 and 40 hertz. You can basically eliminate those. You don't need to feel as much rumble. You just need to feel impact and then accent on that impact. So just remove some of those lowest frequencies, and then when you're using your distortion, don't target those lowest frequencies, right? So if you don't have a plugin that allows you to target very specific frequencies, then I would just send that sound out to an auxiliary channel and layer in some distortion on that channel, EQ out the frequencies that you don't want affected, and layer that back into the noise. But I would personally just do this the way that you have it right now, just remove some frequencies off the low end and then back off that compression, and everything will start to feel better. The other thing I would say is that I notice all of your waveforms in your arrangement window are really large. They're all basically still normalized, and I would caution you against that, because consider this, think about this. These are already beyond their maximum potential. Okay, they've been compressed and maximized and then normalized, right? So they're already artificially inflated. So when you leave them in that same state and then you yourself begin adding more compression and limiting and distortion and stuff, it's going even further beyond that. So what I would do is I would go in there and I would take down just en masse anything that has a massive peak, especially in the transient or a sustained low end rumble. I would take all of those down by at least 10 dB to start. Okay, and leave your chain exactly the same, and then render that and listen to the difference. And you're going to hear a difference in the quality of the sound when things are being distorted or amplified. There's just going to be a night and day difference, right? It's like a year old. It's called The Strongest Battlegrounds. So for the metal bat cutscene, they wanted these sounds to pack a punch because the game is based on anime, I believe, and this is representing a strong character, so they want me to try to make it. Yep, there you go. Yeah, a bit of philosophy and sound design. Heavy and strong are two different things. You can make a huge impact with mid-range alone and only have one sub-hit. Yeah, think about all of the great movies that you've seen, right, in theaters, right, or on television. And they have these really incredible explosions and impact and in different ways you feel these things, right? Yeah, their frequencies are cut up here. So trust in that process. Listen with a critical ear after you make those changes. It's going to feel really, really good. And the sounds that you have in there are going to be so much more well defined. They're all going to have distinct edges to them. So when weapons are in a transitory position or like in a transient state, right? Or when you have effort sounds layered in with those weapon sounds, you can actually hear each one of those individually as they're being delivered, which is important for the believability thing, right? Even if we're coming from the anime side of the spectrum, where some sounds might be exaggerated or over the top, if you listen carefully, most anime shies away from those big sub-frequencies entirely. Yeah, so there you go. And yes, what Roku says is always the right answer. Make both, give them the choice at the end. 9 out of 10 times, they'll pick your work over their decision. It is very true, especially once they have a chance to listen to it on a few different systems. They'll start to realize that decisions have to be made. All right, Cayenne. It's another alien rave dance party moment. This one's called NBA Youngboy Type Beat Tutorial.
Trouble with me. Trying to keep it peaceful is a struggle for me. Don't pull up at 6 a.m. to cuddle with me. You know how I like it when you loving on me. I don't wanna die for them to miss me. Yes, I see the things that they wishing on me. Hope I got some brothers that outlive me. They gon' tell the story was different with me. God's plan, God's plan. I hold back sometimes I won't. I feel good sometimes I don't. Down with them, right, next. I go down to G.O.D. I go hard on Southside G. I make sure that Northside heat. And still.
Everybody pay attention. This right here is my pretty boy swag. Pretty boy swag. Pretty boy swag. Pretty boy swag. Girls on my dick when I pretty boy swag. Girls scream my name when I pretty boy swag. Watch me pretty boy swag. Pretty boy swag. Pretty boy swag. Pretty boy swag. Girls on my dick when I pretty boy swag. Girls scream my name when I pretty boy swag. I do not sniff in the bird. No, you do not
Okay, so Cayenne, I think this is great. It's got a lot of awesome stuff. The hyper vibe is super awesome. I love the Saturday morning cartoon kind of thing you got going on some of your tracks. So this one ranks for me. But I will say, as I'm listening today, I'm thinking that you've obviously leveled up a bunch of times to get these mixes out so quickly like this. And as impressive as that is, I think it's about time that you start slowing down and the finishing moments in some of your mixes. And this one is actually a pretty good example because as you're jumping from one thing to the next, and they're big leaps. So these are juxtaposed almost to the extreme, right? Um, I feel like the individual pieces need to be treated um, more individually at times, right? Because as you run through, let's say you take like a 10 or second, 12-second snippet of the song, and you've run through like maybe four different little snapshots in that moment of time, right? Each one is going to hit us a little bit more if it truly has its own entirely own uh, mix, if that makes sense, right? Now, there's different ways that you can go about doing this, obviously. Um, uh, but one way you could do this is to work kind of in an offline process where you're going through each one of these ideas that you're going to be adding to your arrangement palette, right? And start bouncing them as individual full mix audio files and then bringing all of those things into a new project. I have no idea how you currently work. Um, but this is one thing that you could do to kind of uh, protect the integrity of each one of those individual um, scenes that you're stitching together, right? Um, if this makes sense, I feel like it's the next logical step for you in all of this. This one felt rather brilliant all the way around. Need for Speed vibes, right? Right? Ardlap is saying, well, you guys are sound designing everything, I believe. Sound design some things, but some of it are samples, such as impacts and stuff. You know what, Ardlap? I think that we've reached a point in our industry where most people are using at least a certain degree of sounds or starting points that are not their own. You know what I mean? Like whether it's a sampled library or what have you, I think everyone is using um, content that originates elsewhere at some point in their workflows. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. I think that if you allow yourself to get too hung up on it, it can kind of start to affect some stuff. Hey, Kwame is back. Right, Noxo. Voltor. Oh, this is Errol. Okay, here we go. Voltor. Look at this image. My goodness. Errol, aloha. Just imagine standing out in the open field at the festival. Yo, Errol, Errol, dude. You got up to some stuff there. It's really good. It tickled the ears in a lot of great places. I would say, and I saw comments, still work in progress, still working on it. I would say that there's a little bit of room here and there for a couple little change ups. I really dig the change ups that you've got in there already, timing wise, especially. Wanting a little less compression on the entire mix so the background elements can feel like there's more distance involved because proximity is important. And during this breakdown here, where you've just got these little dingbats here, consider more manipulation of that, like maybe putting them through a reverb that is actively being manipulated, or maybe put in a little dialogue, or maybe a different sound effect sequence, or something. The other thing I would say is that it could have just a touch more of not like a touch more. It needs. I feel like it might need like one additional thread um, for us to follow as an audience over time, right? Whether that be, a more melodic arp, or whether it be, like I said before, maybe some dialogue or something that can kind of be spread out over the entirety of the track, or revisited in a couple of very specific location or sections of the song, so we can kind of like pick up where we left off. Something like that. Really, really appreciate all the attention to detail in your processing and the shaping and delivery of sounds. Really nice liquid effects, really good rubber effects. Yeah, I felt like it was just tickling all the right parts of the ears. Good stuff. Joel says if you haven't listened to Babalos yet, go listen. This kind of reminds him. Oh, Errol's played at the same party. Well, there you go. A melodic response to the lead, more subtle. Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Welcome in, Mitesh. or Mitesh. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce it. Hopefully I haven't butchered it. Let's see who's up next. I think it's Soul. Hey, Danny's here. Good morning, sir. If I can figure out how to use my keyboard, we'll get this thing started. I'm doing all right, Danny. How are you doing, man? Everybody give I'm Imaginate a follow. Really cool. Welcome in. Don't forget, if you're subbed, you got a lot of free sounds waiting for you on the Discord. All subscriber gets free sounds. Filthy Den, welcome in. All right, Soul, here's what I got for you. I bring the low end cutoff up to 45 hertz, 12 dB per octave curve, and I bring the sub down at least 6 dB. It might need to come down more. The vocal shots can come up more in the mix. I would treat them with some saturation to help them stand out in the mix more. Drums can use a little EQ, compression, and saturation. We need a little bit less low end on the drum mix. Some compression to help kind of thicken them up and bring a little bit more of the texture up to the surface. Saturation to really make them pop. I feel like they just need to stand up and be a bit more bold in the mix. They are kind of the strong element. You need to lean on them a bit. And wanting more variation in the melody. It's a good melody, just wanting more variation in it. Ben's asking, who is this Imaginate guy? Let's see who's up next. Hey, it's Visor. It's another Visor moment. Visor music moment. This track is finalized, but I'd still like to hear what you think. Haven't actually been working on any whips recently. Just haven't been feeling my creative flow. That does happen. All right, this one's called Macabre. Collab action between Visor, Nothing is this hard. This was another Visor moment. Another Visor music moment, I should say. We do need a rage trigger. We really do. I need a full team of interns, an additional 50 hours a week, I think, just to get like triggers sorted and a whole bunch of stuff edited. I want all my triggers back. All right, Visor, this was super, super hard. Super, super hard. I don't think it actually has anything that it needs changed. So I think you're right when you say it's finalized. It's super hard. It broke the internet. Like, there were a whole bunch of people saying that it was breaking their internet. Which means it probably actually broke my internet because it was affecting multiple people. But hey. But seriously, that was awesome. That was great. It was super freaking hard. That was awesome. Track achieves everything it needs to achieve. Maybe play with panning on the pre-drop parts. That's my opinion. That one's coming in from Joel's. This is great. Super hard. You know what time it is? It's time to click on this other thing, listen to another track from Saffron. We're going to come right back to Joel's. Saffron has just released another album. And when that kind of thing happens around here, and it's independently released like this, we can just listen. So, I'm going to come here. We're going to go to the second song. We're listening to Saffron. Please do support him. Saffron, dude. Nick, we're only like a couple of tracks into this, but I will say, um, your ability to pair sounds and samples together uh, in your own unique way just never really ceases uh, to please me. You know, like it's so satisfying to listen to the various forms of hypnosis. You know what I mean? Like this horn riff right here, I can't really think of anyone that would pair that with these sounds in this way, and yet listening to it, it sounds um you know, like a puzzle piece that fits in like this really oddball menagerie that you stitch together. Really good stuff. The other thing I would point out is this artwork is incredible. It's like it's somewhere between sketch and lino cut block art or something. It's really fascinating to stare at while I'm listening to this really heady stuff. Joel says this is jazz, but EDM and also 10 times weirder. Ben says, Saf, what the hell, dude? You said your music sucks. Definitely never listening to your self-criticism ever again. I'm gonna find you. I live in PA2, fam. I'm coming. You know what it is? Is that when we put stuff out into the world and we're unsure about it, like all of a sudden, all of our insecurities are heightened and on display for others to see. And then when you actually listen to the stuff that this person is nervous about other people like interpreting and perceiving and perhaps even judging, and they're like falling all over themselves in love with it, like that's got to feel good. Big ups, Saf. Big ups, homie. All right, Jules, let's do this. One's called Elec. Hey, OhmLab, excellent. We will check those. Yeah, what a great lineup today. You guys are killing it. All right, this one's called Elec. Oh man, I love that outro. That was great. Fantastic. I wish more people leaned into creativity in the last leading seconds of their tracks. I really truly do. I love unique endings. Okay, vibe is super tight right out the gates, of course. We love Joel's. I'd personally shave a little bit of the low end off the kick verb. I like the kick, by the way. Love the super subtle female sample on the right there in the intro. Just the whole vibe, just super fresh and fantastic. Wanting a little more separation between individual sounds, less piano dominance in the center. But I would also say the same about, we'll get to that, the strings too. 241 little transition support would feel cool here, especially if there was some kind of cinematic kind of whoosh involved. Just kind of leave you hanging there for a second at the end. 250, I feel like this is a real magic moment. It's also a moment that kind of shines a light on this thing that's happening. There's a lot of busyness in the mid-range tones kind of competing at the same level, which can be a little problematic in regards to our ability to maintain focus as the listener. So I would really encourage to find more separation between individual elements, like I said before, but also making more like hard decisions about in which moment what is leading the mix, right? I think it comes down to our ability to focus, like I said before. And when you've got two elements, the strings and the piano, that are very closely related in frequency and proximity and amplitude, and they're sitting right above this other stuff, and it's all kind of in the same mid-range tonal space. It's a bit of a buildup. You know what I'm saying? There's a bit of traffic there. So it'd be cool to find a way to create more cooperative, like fair play between them rather than the drag and the blur that happens in a few spots. Um, Maybe it'd be nice to find a way to move between them a bit more fluidly and allow them both to shine their own a little bit more in a couple of spots so we know what they're all about. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, right, Jules? Because you've got yeah, Liv should hear this. You're right, Roku. Um it's got so many good things, right? And you don't want to carve those things out. But also I feel like if you were to, not only does one stand out over the other now, but it gives you an opportunity now to be creative in how you reintroduce the other element in its dominant position. You know what I'm saying? Um, like, what if there was a little bit of glitch brought to the strings and the piano? Like, what if they were actually like kind of taken out of their dominant position by the rapid fire, you know, um, more electronic stuff, right? And then kind of took back over or something. I don't know. I think if you were to play a little bit more in how uh, each is holding its position in the mix, I think you're going to find some really creative, fun ways. Kwame is here. He is a chord monster, isn't it? Almost feels overworked. I feel you. I feel you. Infested says, "This is amazing. Keep it up." Kwame is back. Right on time. Right on time. Let's do this. Cruising.
I keep on doing it. Gotta hit the brakes. So tired of dreaming for a better day. Oh, I need some healing to help numb the pain. 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 Baby, I know what you did. Can't turn back, I can't forgive. Too much shade, too much regret. Ooh, hey. Kept on thinking I'm to blame. Should've known you ain't gon' change. Why you had to play those games? Ooh, hey. Ooh, hey. Ooh, yeah. When we touch, I wanna make love. I wanna get to know you better. When we kiss, I don't want to miss another night without you under my body. All over me, all up in the sheets. Your body wanna feel on top of me. I wanna feel the one for you holding me. Want you all over me. Talking that good, please. Your body wanna feel on top of me. I wanna feel the one for you holding me.
Oh.
When we touch, I wanna make love. I wanna get to know you better. When we kiss, I don't want to miss another night without you under my body. All over me, all up in the sheets. Your body wanna feel on top of me. I wanna feel the one for you holding me. Want you all over me. Talking that good, please. Your body wanna feel on top of me. I wanna feel the one for you holding me.
Yo, Kwame. Ooh, thank you. Oh my goodness. Can you put a little washed out noise whoosh there at 2:30 at that transition and then just print this thing? Just like, don't send it to Drake to have him put his poor rich man sauce over the top of it. Send it to Drake to hang over his head. No, not like a washed out impact, more like a just like a breeze through the open window, homie, like a little more filtered down than that. More like a there we go. That's what it is. It's like a you got. Man, that's so flippin' good. So flippin' good. Like the pace of this one makes the whole thing. These like a Prius fart, Ben says. It's like it's like those first few notes set everything up. It was so great. Just letting those, what are they, like 4 notes or something, just kind of ring out all on their own. It's like no one is going to rush anything. We understand that from the get. I love it. Great way to start it. Super, super, super fine mix, homie. This has got to be some of your best, like holistically best overall work from arrangement and composition and the mixing and your sound selection. Your palette is super on point. Dude, Kwame, man, the last couple of years, dude. You're amazing. You're amazing. Send a big love your way, homie. Quirk. How you doing over there, homie? Swan. It's called Stratosphere. Dude, Kwame, I appreciate you so much, man. Infested says, I gotta go. Will you review even if I'm not here and check out the VOD? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I will. Stratosphere. Oh, don't forget, if you are currently subscribed to the stream, you have a whole bunch of free sounds waiting for you over on the Discord. There are currently about 350 dialogue samples from a cult classic film called Gas. It is a whole bunch of highly inappropriate stuff taken out of context that will spice up your tracks in ways that you just simply do not expect and didn't realize that you need. But anyway, enough about that. We're going to listen to Quirky. Here we go. This one's called Stratosphere. Okay. So, quirk. Good stuff. I think that the two things on this one for me, the clicks in the mix, we got to get rid of those. They're a little distracting. They're out of place, and I think they could actually kind of hurt some folks, depending upon the system that they're listening to. Like if someone had this cranked and the right kind of headphones, like it could hurt their ears. Your stopping point with your filter. Here's the second thing. The stopping point with your filter on the vocals on this one is just a little bit lower than that like super ideal spot that you had in the last track that you brought by. I think it was the last one. It was like super balanced. You've found it a couple of times now where it's just like this really really ideal stopping point. And if you go back into one of those projects and borrow that cutoff setting and bring it into this project, I think this might feel a little bit better. It feels a little bit murky in spots. Other than that, I think this one's pretty good. The clicks are bugging me though. Oh, Nano, yeah, this is Quirk over here with this track. Chat and Strategy is saying, OhmLab, thing that always impresses me, how on point your advice is. Like every time I'm like, yeah, exactly. This is what I was thinking, but I couldn't find the right way to explain it to myself. Well, thank you so much. That's what we are here for. Now see, this is good stuff right here. So chat doesn't even have anything in the queue right now. Just tuning in and absorbing sounds and wisdom, which is fantastic. It's like the best kind of TV to watch, really. Quirk, I don't really have much for you on this one other than those two things. Freddie Oliver Music, welcome in. Happy Friday to you. If you are currently subscribed to the stream and you do not see subscriber rewards in the Discord, it means that you need to connect your two profiles between Twitch and Discord. And once you do, then you will be allowed in to grab your free sounds. Just what's up? This art is incredible. This writing out the storm. Look at this art. This. It's pretty cool. Thank you, AI. All right, Writing Out the Storm. It's an original song. Just Bubbles says, hi, just found you. Glad to find you. I appreciate your perspective. Just released. Hope you enjoy. All right, cool. Well, I thank you for the kind words. Welcome in. Just, this is great. This is fantastic. There's only a couple of things. There's only a couple of things, and I really don't want anything else to be touched in this because I love this really easy and raw kind of feel that you've got cooking here. Let's run through this. Really nice clarity and detail on the water sample, by the way, throughout. It just feels, it adds a certain amount of organic quality to the whole thing. And the clarity of it keeps it all feeling really, really relaxed because it isn't being forced in any way to achieve definition. You know what I mean? So good on you for finding the right sound and keeping it super clean. The warped and moving image in the video is so nicely aligned. I don't know if you guys were paying attention to it at that small size, but it was really nice. At 147, here's one of the big ones. I want the vocal, the second vocal, the one that's lower register. I want it to sit atop the mix more. A little saturation to get there, I think, is all you really need. But I do think it needs to sit up, a little bit more upright in the mix. Really appreciating the loose old feels of the track right now. So I'm sitting here, I'm listening, and it's around like 3:15 or so, and I'm like, this hat is just a touch loud right now. And as soon as I type that, I'm like, man, it sounds great right now. Like it's barely even present right now. So maybe just in that one spot. Yeah, the human touch with the AI art is very nice, very nice. Freddie Oliver says autotune would fix this right up, just. Don't go too far in the direction of perfection, though. The magic in this one is the imperfection. Just saying. All right, this is Steely, aka Chat and Strategy, in the chat. Let's do this. Oh, sorry, I'm just seeing this message from chat and asking if I could hold for just a moment. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to listen to it. All right, this one's called Psych Work in Progress. It's from Infested. Infested, I hope you're still here, tuned in. Let's go. You bet, chatting. Just, yeah, bring in some work in progress next time. Absolutely. Great to hear you. All right. Here's what I got for you. A really cool timbre to explore in that first initial block. Was that physical modeling in there? Is really nice. Loudness. That's the main thing holding this track back is loudness. Once you address the loudness, next thing that can improve it the most is going to be volume automation. Like the two biggest things right now. So it's really just about loudness, the perception of loudness over time, the position, rank, and order of the different sounds over time. I would personally aim for a LUFS target of around neg 15 for this one. It might get turned down just a touch on some platforms, but not much. I wouldn't push it to this loudness because it's a pretty chill song. I want more variety in the delivery and progression of the main synth, just for interest. And the supporting stabs, the ones that are kind of spread out to the sides, I think they can be affected over time as well. I just get a slow rate modulator or two touching a few different parameters to keep things changing slowly and subtly, right? Maybe one is affecting wavetable position, another one is affecting filter cutoff, another one is affecting attack and decay on the ADSR or something like that. It'll just kind of keep everything feeling just a little bit more organic and a little bit less predictable, so it feels a little bit more varied and less stale. 328, wanting more separation between elements. I think volume automation is going to be your best friend once you get the loudness wrangled. Bass can come down just a little bit. Plenty of different cool ARP patterns on display. 436, this is a really good example of the loudness peaks that just actually don't need to reach that peak level. If you were to bring the limiting down, you'll instantly hear this hysteresis that this synth is kind of teetering on. That's the point at which things kind of start to fall apart or feel a little overdriven or something. That disappears as soon as you back off of that. And the reason why it is because it's clipping. Like that's kind of the sound of clipping that we're hearing there. So overall, I would treat this track a little bit more gently, ease off the loudness, use a little more filtering on the top end of your sounds, and bake in a bit more movement and change over time. And I think you have a really nice track. It's good stuff. Thinking about switching things up. Yeah, this is an old abandoned project. I'm going to pick it up again. Excellent, excellent. Cool. Okay, we're gonna listen to these quick little sound effects from OhmLab, because they've got a bounce, and then we're gonna check out what Chat and Strategy has brought. So I'm gonna click over here. Okay, so we listened to these first three already. All right, that was dope. Same feedback before about the loudness. If you look at the waveforms in your arrangement window right now, they're all normalized. Play this back, like render this again by just selecting everything in your arrangement window and bringing it down like 10 dB or so and bounce it again and see what it sounds like. Don't change anything. Just give yourself context here. Okay, if I'm supposed to pick my favorite between these, I would say that sonically, mix-wise, the first one, because in the second one, I don't get to hear a lot of the melee articulation because the low end is kind of overcompressed, the environmental space is overcompressed. So if you were to reduce loudness of the source sounds, bring up the low end cut a bit so we get a little bit less boom and rumble in all of that, and then less saturation on the reverb, I think this one becomes my favorite so far. We already listened to that one. Okay, this one's cool. Let's do this full screen here. Change over time, volume. So make those, there should maybe be like 2 peak points of that really high metallic sound effect at the peak points where they're at, and bring everything else down. And so now when you hit those, it really feels like there was a thrust up to that contact, right? That's going to really reinforce like the motion that people are seeing. And it's also going to create a little bit more just sonically more space for you to introduce a tiny little motion sound effect here. Let's listen to this one more time. Yeah, so you've got tiny little swooshes and whips. You can embellish that a little bit more and bring down the delivery sound, keep those peaks of the metal. Okay, next one. So me, one of the SFX artists and developer, discussed something about the audio being super distorted. We tested it, made the decision to leave the original sound heavily distorted because in the game, the music is in the background and the script injected to it, which adjusts the balance, the volume of these two. Keep in mind that there are other sounds in the background. We also tested this without any distortion. It was not audible because this is Roblox, right? And it is shitty compression, worse than SoundCloud, so distortion was the only way to go. Let's just... I don't think the distortion is too out of line in this one, by any means. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong one, huh? It's this one. Okay, yeah, so the distortion is out of line here, and I would just say continue auditioning. The other thing is that if you bring down the starting point, it's the same feedback as before. Bring down the entirety of everything in the mix by 10 dB, and then approach it with exactly the same everything you've got right now. It's about saturation. The reason why volume isn't working when distortion does, in regards to being able to hear the effects on Roblox, is about the harmonic content in the sound itself, right? When you're making those lowest sub-frequencies rumble that big, really what you're doing is you're increasing peaks way up higher in the frequency spectrum, and that's what you're hearing. But the rumbling of the bass down low, those sub-frequencies, is actually hurting the overall quality of your sound. And that's why everything feels like it kind of gets compressed in a weird way. Like you've got this big thing, but it doesn't have the overall impact that you were hoping that it did, right? And that's because it reaches a wall and it hits it, quite literally. It hits a wall and it's now diminished. You will never hear the potential peak. You will never ever hear the potential of that sound because you're ramming it into a wall and it just can't go through it. It just can't do it. So bring down the beginning volume of your source sounds. And bounce some stuff and run through those same exact tests on the same systems and see what you're thinking. Previous clip is the newer... Wait, hold on a second. The previous clip is the newer version of the canceled movie. See, I titled them. You see, I titled them. Which is better? Oh, I see. Okay. So, canceled movie SFX made by me. And this is another move. Another SFX artist reworked the sound effect. Oh, now let's listen to this. And this. Okay, now there are things that I like about both. I'm going to say that I like the second one better overall, and it's only because there's a little bit more restraint being exercised here, and it's allowing the delivery of the sound to be really focused, which means it's going to be heard. It's going to be received better by the audience playing the game, because each of the individual things is going to be heard a little bit better. Yours has a lot of stereo width, and it's being mixed and presented the same way that your music is, right? A lot of really big full stereo field effect. But when it comes right down to it, when you're playing on like a phone or a smaller device or whatever, you don't really have an enormous system that you're playing on, right? It's Roblox. So there's a reason why certain sounds don't come through. They just don't register the same way as others, right? There are just certain things that you're working within and around. So, you know, working with more monotype sounds, of course, is going to help, right? Anything kind of fall out of a speaker a little bit more readily, but part of it is the mix approach, right? The other thing I would point out is that in the second example, there is more change over time in regards to volume and presence, which is what I was pointing out about yours. So those peaks really stand out a little bit more because of the lower levels that existed elsewhere in the soundscape. Make sense? Make sense? Right? There's got to be contrast between the things for us to register the difference and then appreciate what that difference did for us. You know what I'm saying? So, see if anybody else has anything. Louise says, I agree. He knows all the secrets of music wizardry. Chant Strategy says, right, in French we say cinématique. So accurate. Well, thank you guys. Yeah, the newer one was used in the end. The old one was canceled completely, not because of the sound effect, but just because the animation, the visuals did not fit the rest of the game. Gotcha. Yeah, keep at it. Keep at it. You know, every single sound and every single project is going to be different. So if you're wanting ears on stuff, man, as you're working, just hit me up. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to close the queue. So we are not going to add any more. We're going to listen to everything in the queue, though. So. All right. Okay, so we're going back to chat and strategy. And that was right here. We're just going to back up and hit play here.
don't know who I am, what I'm waiting for. Everyone is at a party and I feel alive. I can help it all, I feel better when they're gone. Even if it's full of love, I avoid. I'm sorry, there is nothing I enjoy. And all I can do is stay in bed while waiting for
Tell me all about me. Tell me all the things you.
All right, so Steely, here's what I got for you. The distortion feels cool, but it's also a bit much, right? So I would suggest one of the two. Try finding a better balance by applying it more subtly or with constrained or compartmentalized frequency range, or reapproach it with parallel processing instead. So in other words, just set up an auxiliary track, take that same exact plugin with the same exact settings and just move it over to the auxiliary track, pipe your sound on over to that, set the output of that track only to wet so you're not hearing any of the dry output, and then mix that in to taste. Here's the trick though. Put an EQ directly after the distortion and take out the lowest sub frequencies. So now what you've done is basically you've applied the texture of the sound to the sound that you know fits the song, instead of affecting the entirety of the sound and then dealing with the repercussions of it in the mix. Make sense? As soon as you do that, as soon as you eliminate those subfrequencies being distorted to that degree, you're going to have a cleaner mix and everything's going to pop in a way that feels a lot better overall. Ardlap, going back to you just really quick, I see your comment about, thank you so much for the feedback. No one else has been able to give so much feedback like you. This is great. You're welcome. Feel free to bring stuff by at any point. Chat and Strategy says, I'll definitely come here more often. I have some unreleased songs and I'm sure I could benefit from more advice here. Ardlap says, I might be able to stay for my submission too, but if I can't, can you drop me out of the queue or whatever you feel like doing, OhmLab? Yeah. Or I'll just copy my feedback into the thread for you. Chet says, okay, so about this song, everyone is at a party. I would like to know which genre you'd say it is, because I have trouble to find the right audience for this one, and people seem not to like it, and I don't know why. I'd call it pop. I'd call it pop. I don't know if I have a specific subgenre within pop, but I would kind of think of this as a typical kind of pop party song, right? It's upbeat. It's kind of anthemic. It's got kind of an anthem kind of a feel to it. Costerine, you don't think it's pop? Why? How would you categorize it? Costerine. Drums sound live. Late emo song, perhaps?
I let that breathe. I let that breathe. Let's go.
The truth is left in the ruin, buried us in the light. We walk in silence till morning. We can't hide, cannot hide.
And I don't mind. I feel so safe, and I know why. I see a place all mine. Life when I don't take oh my. Time too seriously, I remember the walks that I had that were designed for the enemy. Talks that I had that were defined by the memory of locking and clutch without the mind of the energy around me. How we just allow the form of pressure combust a sweatshirt. I know the efforts of those who fell above lust lurks. It seen the best works. I had to find a way to get out of that. I'm coming back to what going on, I'm holding on to so much pain to abstain from all things entertained. Blame how it came before I had an age to know just how you don't allow too much come out through your mouth. Doubt you knew that who that could.
The truth is left in the ruin, buried us in the light. We walk in silence till morning. We can't hide, we cannot hide.
I let that breathe. I let that breathe. Ooh. I let that breathe. I let that. Jesus Christ is Lord.
Yo, this has such a great sound. This has such a great sound. The loves are too hot. Back off the limiter. It does not need to be pushed to this loudness. I want to see peaks. I want to see valleys. This is like some smooth R&B awesomeness here. That's how I think it should be treated. If you treat it too electronically, right, where everything's just being kind of pushed, then we don't feel the, oh yeah. All we really feel is like the upbeat party kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? I know that might seem like splitting hairs, but some people that are listening to this have the opinion that this is like a laid back, super smooth, like all the feels in the world kind of synthwave kind of thing going on. You know what I'm saying? That said, all the synths are too dominant in the mix for the melodic vocal and drum elements. Fine for the rap. I'd say bring them down in tandem about 5 dB. Also, just back off the limiter and bring it feels like this is sitting at about like neg 8 lufs or neg 9 lufs, and I'd set this at like neg 16 to 14. That's where I would leave this one. I know, it's synthwave. Of course the synths are dominant. I know they are. They're still going to be dominant. They really are. Oh, right? Right? Vapor Palms is over there saying, I'm melting because of those synths and female voice. Really soothing. Yeah, everything felt really, really good. It's more just balance stuff. Like final finishing touches. Or what are we talking? Like 99% done here. Fiery Fury. It is you. Punk House. Cyberpunk House. It's just Punk House. Okay, so there's a question coming in. Freddie Oliver Music says, wouldn't neg 16 lufs be super quiet? Actually, if you go and you look at loudness meter penalty.com, they also have a loudness penalty meter plugin. Anyway, they show you what the lufs standards are for all the different streaming platforms, and they sit around neg 16. So oftentimes you're gonna hear stuff, and it's been reduced, right? It was bounced at a much higher level. You still get a lot of the spiciness from that, but it's been brought down. So it is what it is. Neg 16 is just kind of the standard. If you're talking about like really heavy hitting bass music, like super in your face over the top, neg 8, neg 10, and it's pretty ear splitting. If you're talking like broadcast media, like over television or something like that, we're dipping down quite a bit more. Neg 20, neg 24. That is fire as heck. That is correct, Alex. I agree with that statement. RMS versus LUFS, huge difference in level. Well, yes, they are different things. LUFS is a measurement of perceived loudness. So my 0 dB is different than your 0 dB. Okay, so here we go. Fiery Fury, Cyberpunk House. Classic. Yo, Fiery Fury, classic vibe. 109, great decision with the breakdown, although I want more from it before we get back to the full mix at 130. 145, I'm sitting here, I'm just really craving change right now at this point. It feels like I've been kind of hearing and feeling the same thing for a matter of seconds now, which is like a long time in an impatient world. Overall, I would say solid vibe, but I want more changes over time. Now, it also doesn't have to be like, oh, bring in more and more instruments or effects or anything. It can absolutely be something as simple as a solution of slow ride modulation on the cutoff of a filter on one instrument. It could be a slow ride modulator on the saturation of another instrument, and that stuff is swelling and receding over time. Right, tiny little changes over time create great impact when added up. Linus is next. Light Cascade. Hold on, I'm going to move my notepad over to the other screen here. We're going to watch this video.
Backseat of my friend's truck. I'm wishing you the best luck. But it's hard to cut when you're holding life. You've been entertained. So I hope you had a good one. Couple months and I'll be all gone. Only thing that you'll see is my face and my bag and my fucking mattress.
How do you feel?
I don't feel anything at all. But watch me change the way I used to walk. It's not your fault. I'll just smoke it off. I'll let it all be gone. Let it all be gone. Is it okay if I say another night? Got nowhere else to be except by your side. I know there's no second chances, so I would take it now that and fucking miss that flight. That's my bed, I left the lights on. Couple minutes, oh, you're gone. Only thing that I'll see is your face and a smile, and it fucking haunts me. I don't feel anything at all. Now watch me change the way I used to talk. It's not your fault. I'll just smoke it off. I'll let it all be gone. Let myself be gone.
Yo, that's Fur Light. People in the chat asking who this was. Yo, Linus is super dope. I love the like extra fragile aesthetic in the intro. The lo-fi video is everything. It's like absolutely necessary for the consumption of this song. I would accent the found sounds Foley a bit more. Low multiband compression for the win. At 2:31, this one moment out of the entire song felt like Foley got a little busy, like extra busy. Not sure it actually needed to. For what it's worth. Bako, welcome in. I think I'm still going. I'm going to go hit the bathroom really quick, though. Hey, thank you, Michael. Appreciate you, homie. I really do. Hope you're well over there. Don't forget, if you are currently subscribed to the Twitch stream, you get free sounds on the Discord. Bako, if you want to drop something in the queue while I'm hitting the restroom, please feel free. I'll be right back. And turn on a little noise. Give you guys something to listen to while I'm away. It's weird. Just fair warning. It's weird. Mako, doing well. How are you? I'll be right back, you guys. back. I am back. Shall we continue our party? Weird noise today, right? All right, cool. All right, where were we? Ah, yes. Ruben. Ruben. Hey, what you guys talking about, by the way? Not too much. Mentioned it already, but I'm going to mention it again. If you are currently subscribed to the Twitch stream, you get free sounds. Why am I bringing this up yet again? Because the sounds that are up there are going to be taken down soon, and new sounds will be put up. It's always a good thing to have a reminder where sounds are taken away. Ruben, let's roll, homie. Took a risk. Studio Master final.
Benton, you got a hit. Girl, that's my Steve.
What's up? Damn right.
40 on my hip, the match just 40 on my wrist. I done did it for them trenches, I done did it for the kids. I done got it from the bottom, steady checking off my list. Cause I'm married to the game and I ain't married to nothing. Yeah, you can't call me lucky, cause I went and took a risk. Them boys don't want no smokers, bro, got 50s with a switch. Bro, them boys ain't playing crazy, but they end up in the ditch. Only need one to make it, it don't matter what I miss.
Them floaters got more dope than the dispensary. We be with a gloss and all the switches, big run pleasure motor. I take credit, I take cash too. My bitch got a bag too. Whip fast and it's matte blue. Smoking all that dope, she got me stuck. Backwood full of goodie, my shit be stuck. Shit, I make this shit look easy, but it get rough. Trust your stomach, trust your gut. Oh, wow. Got a moolah, they can't get too close. Cito got that Toolie on her. JJ got that Uzi on her. My little bitch got a booty on her. She nasty like she Suki on her. Neck kinda tatted, got a kit on it. Stand up, nigga, let her sit on it. I'm richer than your big homie.
40 on my hip, the match just 40 on my wrist. I done did it for them trenches, I done did it for the kids. I done got it from the bottom, steady checking off my list. I'm married to the game and I ain't married to nothing. Yeah. Cause I went and took a risk. Them boys don't want no smokers, bro, got 50s with a switch. Bro, them boys ain't playing crazy, but they end up in the ditch. Only need one to make it, it don't matter what I miss.
What I made, it never mattered, can't forget about what I lost. I say calm and never panic, but I worry about who gone. Never since I lost my cousin, life ain't right, I swear it's wrong. But I still fight like Adonis, get my all until I'm gone. Until I'm gone, I'm gonna apply this pressure, give it all I got. Until I'm gone, I'm gonna swing this Beretta. I got shit on lock, I gotta make my people proud. I owe them way more than a lot. I'm on the road, my foot on the gas and I won't never stop. Tell me why. Tell me why I gave my heart. Don't want to start to somebody I was hoping they won't realize. But I gotta keep it real. I can't put that on nobody. I just want it more.
40 on my hip, the match just 40 on my wrist. I done did it for them trenches, I done did it for the kids. I done got it from the bottom, steady checking off my list. I'm married to the game and I ain't married to nothing. Yeah, you can't call me lucky, cause I went and took a risk. Them boys don't want no smokers, bro, got 50s with a switch. Bro, them boys ain't playing crazy, but they end up in the ditch. Only need one to make it, it don't matter what I miss.
Yo, Ruben, this is Ace. This is awesome. It's been a minute since we've heard anything from you. This is it's got some sauce. It's like it's got its own flavor, and I appreciate that. There are some decisions being made throughout this thing that are really choice, and I'd love to see more of your recent stuff. This feels like a level up since the last time we heard. Appreciate this, man. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I think pretty much all the other tracks that have come through today at a higher LUFS level than the standard. I feel like I just say you got to turn that stuff down because it's just not sounding good at that push level. But you know, this sounds good. It's good stuff. I love it. Of course, Serene. Yeah, man, keep doing it. That's what I say. All around good stuff. I second that emotion. All right, let's listen to this. This one's called "Been Drowning." All right, here's what we got to do with this one. Like we were talking about before, the streaming standards say around neg 16, neg 15, something like that is where things start getting turned down. This is obviously somewhere north of like neg 9, neg 8. It's pretty, like, that's really, really pushed. I would back it off. Personally, I would bring this all the way back to like neg 14. I think it would have just enough punch, and you'd have all of that warmth and funk just oozing, and people could actually turn up the volume knob to make it louder. So I'm a big fan of funk. And when the individual sounds are breaking up or they're not being allowed to move fully, it feels like it's all being held back, which is kind of the opposite of what you want with funk, right? You got to let your freak flag fly. So that's what I would say. Release the freak, and just kind of back off the limiting there. Really, really, really fantastic sound. This is a super vibrant palette. Super vibrant. It's like just spraying color all over the place, and I love it. Love it. But bumping up against the wall, so all the peaks are clipped. So, very, very infectious. Very great music. Just quit the clipping. Mytesh, you're up. MSU Footprint 2023 trailer. Yo, my Tesh. All right. Here's what I got for you. The reverb feels like it's being applied directly to the mix in the intro, and I think it should be applied parallel to preserve the clarity and kind of the quality of the sound, and then you can kind of transition between those audio channels, right? If you really want to wash something out, you can bring in more of that reverb at will, and exactly where and when you want it. Really like how the different elements are being introduced and commingled and juxtaposed. It's very cool. Artsy with the video, which felt so random. It felt like just non sequitur. At 141, you can kind of hear this return to this lack of clarity and presence that's heard in the intro. So if it's all intentional, I'd lean into it more and show us that it is, and then tweak it further to show us an extreme in that space, even if it's only just for a brief moment. I do like the use of noise to fill space and time in a few areas, but I do believe that it can be carved out and shaped by more filters and be presented in a more creative way, I think. Just having the noise on its own is a little brutish at points, especially towards the end. But overall, I feel like this is kind of an exploration in delivery. That's pretty good. Pretty good stuff. Bako, you're juggling chats over there, huh? Central. Let's see what you've cooked up this time. Vision. Maitesh, you're doing great. You're doing great. Thanks for sharing that one with us. Some good stuff. All right, Central. Everybody hold on tight. This one he sent last time. He's hopefully got the issues all resolved now. Just want another set of ears to double check. Let's roll. This is the master at like 12 LUFs for Spotify. Okay, cool.
I had to see that. I had to see that boy through the vision. I had to put my cheese out smoking on mission. I had to put you in 4K, had to extend the clip. Fuck it, that shorty, I'm flawless, how to extend these bitches. I got on for these hoes. They spend too much time on streets. Get me stuck, you know I'm more. We got too much time to risk. We got tough, get them all, hit them all. Step out game, I'm twist. We get black, taking another road. Can't forget the mission. Can't forget when all makes sense. Figure out what's missing. Cause I'm blind to the songs that open my eyes, so I could better listen. They don't wanna hear, try to make it clear I don't have what you're wishing for. Try to put it on my head, but I'm ignored. These words have a tendency to do that. Tryna mix it up, tryna play for dumb, dropping checks for fun. I'm no bands, no more slow bands than I want, but Benny on that ride, run away. I've been seeing blood because I'm sitting right. Fucking mean this runs. This is my life, don't need no cap. This is mad, we got a space straight for that butt. Get a match, too strong, can barely smoking out some mud. I see that bud through the fish. I had to put my cheese out smoking on me. I had to put you in 4K, had to extend the clip. Fuck it, that shorty, I'm flawless, how to extend these bitches. I got on for these hoes. They spend too much time on switch. Get me stuck, you know I'm more. We got too much time to risk. We got tough, get them all, hit them all. Back game, I'll twist. We get black, take another road. I could blow my stacks up like they blow a fission.
Central, I love this. There is the feeling like when those certain signature elements of yours pop into the mix, there is that feeling of like, oh, it is kind of missing that extra like little push that you give these guys into the single digit luffs sometimes. Um, but the feeling, I mean, it's only because I'm like well associated with your stuff, right? Like I'm tuned into what you do, so I'm feeling this amount of restraint that's just palpable, and it feels phenomenal, really, because when these moments hit, like I want to go back and hear this. Yeah, like right there, my instinct is just like, I'm reaching for the volume knob. I'm going to turn this up, which is like, man, it's all you can ask for in a song that's really good. You know what I mean? Subs are a bit heavy down low. I'd roll the cutoff up to 50 hertz, 45 hertz, maybe 12 dB per octave curve. Really gentle. Shave off just a tiny bit more down there. And then maybe reduce dB by 3 on those subs and listen back. That's a really fire track, dude. That's a really good one. Yo, Linus, I see you. Respect the Gazelle. Thank you so much, homie. Appreciate you. So I did that for Spotify, but SoundCloud is Neg 5 Loves Master. Yeah, that is the difference, right? It's like in this version, the listener gets to turn it up. In the other version, they get to listen how you want to hear it. Yeah, exactly. That's good. Bako, you going ham is totally different than Central going ham. It is true. It is true. OhmLab. Still here. We got some heavy hitters hanging around for the final act of this show here. This one's called Vibrant. Look at this. Look at this. Holy heck, look at this. It's quite gorgeous, really. It is vibrant. Art Lab, that was a bit of a workout. I think Vibrant's a great name for it. This art is just absolutely incredible. Iridescent is just... It's a great word for it. Still doesn't do it justice. You know what I'm saying? It's rapid ARP action. Magic. Magic time. Luminescent. Oh, yeah, definitely bring it by next time. Yeah, queue's closed. We actually quit streaming normally at 1 p.m. and it's almost 2 p.m., but I wanted to keep going today. Because y'all bringing some fire. It was really good, dude. This felt like an experience. You know what I mean? Like it felt like something was actively happening to me. Which is all we can really ask for, right? Our job as producers, as musicians, is to transform our audience from passive to active participants, right? I want passive listeners. Ah, man, good stuff. Good stuff. So much bounce. That was gas. Man. All right, Freddie Oliver, it is you. It is time. Let's do it. This one's called Like I Should. Super open to brutally honest feedback on this. Excellent, because that's all I do. It's a good pairing. It's a great shot, by the way. This is a fantastic headshot right here.
These days I'm not me or who I wanna be. So far in between my actions and beliefs. And maybe it's a sign of tears I need to cry and dreams to leave behind. But I'm still holding in my breath, 'cause I don't know how to love you like I should when I'm in the clouds. You're still here on earth, my demons get the best part of me and breaks it into pieces. So I don't know how to love you like I should. I've been trying to hide secrets in my bones. Now all I've ever had is slipping through my pores. I don't wanna lie to you anymore. It's time I paid the price that I got it for. And lately I've been going hard on the night shifts, 'cause I'm still caught up in a tight grip. Oh, I've been feeling so hollow. It's a hard pill to swallow. I don't know how to love you like I should when I'm in the clouds. You're still here on earth, my demons get the best part of me and breaks it into pieces. So I don't know how to love you like I should.
Yeah, this is great. Freddie, your delivery is fantastic. It's fantastic. And the headshot is like so, like there's a genuine moment happening here, right? So I feel like there's some sort of connection that you're having with the listener in the way that the emotion, right, is coming through in your vocal delivery. You're like looking at him right in the eyes. It's all great. It's all good. I'd take the piano down, maybe just like 2 dB. Use that little bit of headroom there for tiny little accents, for a little emotional accent. Maybe even down like 4 dB and use little... It's a little meticulous to go in there with some volume automation and create little accents here and there, manually. But I think that it's worth it in this case. And I would pan the piano a couple more steps from center, so there's a little bit less direct competition with the vocal. So those two changes, I think, kind of transformed the piano into a slightly more supportive role player here. Vocal reverb, I think, can be ducked by the vocal. You'll notice that these are super nitpicky, nuanced things, homies. So this is a great track. Vocal reverb can be ducked by the vocal. So toss a compressor on the reverb channel, sidechain from the vocal channel to duck the level of the reverb output when syllables are being presented. Nice little touch with the subtle delays into the reverb at those select spots. Yeah, okay, so I really like that you're vibing with me about the change to the piano. It's not a big change, but you're right. It's enough to create space, and that's all you really need here. Your vocal delivery is really on point. I don't think you have anything to change in your arrangement, your composition. Your sound palette is really well selected. No sidechain after the reverb. So so your reverb is on your auxiliary channel. It should go reverb and then EQ, right? Because you want to take out extra low and extra high frequencies. And then directly under that, you're going to have a compressor. You're not going to add any gain back, okay? And you're not going to set it up like a super tight, like 4-on-the-floor electronic kick bass synth scenario here. It's going to be a little bit more gentle than that. Set the attack at 2. Set the attack at like 5 or so milliseconds. Set the knee at like 2 to 4, somewhere in there, somewhere that feels good, not too snappy. And have it affect the volume output of that decibel or of the reverb by like 5 to 7 decibels. So this is only, and release is going to be like 50 milliseconds. So it's just going to be a really quick little, it's just going to duck it. And it's only going to be when new syllables are spit into the mix, right? So you're not actually going to hear the duck. That exchange is going to be very fluid. And the only difference you're going to hear in the mix is that your vocals are presenting with a little bit more presence. That's really it. Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. Okay, so if you've got a compressor on there, like a multiband operating for the de-essing, that would be separate. That would be on the vocal track. And if you feel like there might be a little bit too much sibilance in the reverb channel, just take out more of the high end. But you should always take out high end, low end on your reverb channel. It should look like this for reference. I tend to toss this out here as a typical reference point for starting position for people. Because everyone is familiar with the name Abbey Road Studios. So if you were to look at like historically what they do, right, they would not let anything below 600 through and nothing above 6,000 through. Right? Very little window. Now, of course, we've moved on since then. We're much more creative in how we mix. But just to kind of give you a benchmark reference of like what can actually create a big sense of space and a realistic perspective for people. So you don't need a whole lot of frequencies up there. And in fact, with something like that, you could even back down. Something like this. Then back off, get a little more warmth from your vocals down here, just above 350 or so, something like that. On your reverb channel now. And then you put your compressor after that. So, for what it's worth. Hope this all vibes with you. And no, I'm not talking about de-essing the verb. I'm talking about actually ducking the volume of the verb as the vocal is being delivered. So it's super sneaky little pro tip or trick that's used in high-end studios all the time. All the time. You'll recognize the effect that it has on your mix as soon as you hear it. It tightens things up nicely. Why? Hope I got the name right. This one is called Dancing on the Snow. It did feel balanced overall. It really did. I'm glad this is super helpful. I'm glad you appreciate it like crazy. Keep coming back with more. I think the bass is great. I think the bass is great. I don't think that there's anything lacking.
It's a hard pill to swallow. 'Cause I don't know how.
I think it's good. I think it's good. Don't overthink this one. This is like super finishing touches here. Dancing on the Snow. Ooh. Now that something lovely. Nice come down track for us. Kandar, welcome in. Happy Friday to you. If you drop your track right now, we'll do it. And yes, we absolutely do feedback on drum and dubstep, etc. This is gorgeous. Like, I love the absolutely nothing wavered in the delivery of this. It was all so in pocket. Yeah, Eric, absolutely. Like, I mean, obviously, it has tremendous value for sync, for licensing purposes. I have no idea what you do with your music, unfamiliar. But I would love to hear more, and I'm interested to know what you do with your music. How are you putting it out into the world? And is it for strictly for listening pleasure, or do you hope that other people would be inspired enough by it to use it in their works? Curious. I'd bring the low end cutoff up to 55 hertz, 12 dB per octave curve, maybe even 60. Make it for yourself. Well, it's absolutely lovely. I would love to hear more of your stuff. And if you ever did decide to put stuff out there into the wild, I would say absolutely would have value for sync placement, which means someone could put this into a film or a video game or something. Yeah, exactly. A Ghibli film. Yeah, it'd be right at home. Absolutely. License deal done. Absolutely. Good stuff. Keep coming back. There's a lot of legends in the community, and lots of us are experienced in all of that. It's just lovely to hear someone taking their time with some tunes. Some good stuff. Plate, you are here, and it's Friday, and you're next. Let's do this. So now for something completely different. This is a Plate remix. This is Plate remixing Plate. Let's find out. This image, by the way, it's flipping tremendous. It's just an idea. Okay. How are you, homie? This is fun. Dude, I want so many more things from my youth to be whipped up into a new frenzy. So many different things. My kid has just recently, over the last couple of weeks, started referring to, like the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, whatever, as the ancient times, which I think is absolutely hilarious. I've been waiting for this moment. I've been looking forward to this moment. Where I start being seen as ancient. It's great. Ancient times. Yeah, right? Okay, so I want more of these, and I'm wondering about like if you were to recreate these by like I say these by like these iconic little moments from all the greats. Like we could probably name a dozen of them, right, without even thinking about it. All those wonderfully beautiful and horribly complex synth intros. Be great to recreate them in a really warped way. Got my mind like reeling with ideas right now. Oh man, Ninja Turtles, great. I messed up the intro to Amazing Stories years ago. I don't know if you guys ever checked that out. It was a show back in the 80s. It was produced by Steven Spielberg, and it was kind of an answer to Twilight Zone and Outer Limits and stuff, but more in the family zone, if you will. And it was on like Sundays, like right up against the Wonderful World of Disney or something like that. So it had a pretty big cult following there for a while. I love stuff like that. Bego. Dude, this image is fantastic. This is what's in between. Yo, this was really awesome. I really like this one. This one might be one of my favorites of yours, actually. So- Which, by the way, it's good to hear you again because it's been a minute. Because as my goal was to show normie streamers and not have them bitch, it was Boring or repetitive. Yeah, it was good. No, you filled up the space. You had a really interesting and like diverse palette of sounds. A lot of movement. Things did not get boring, where you made certain of that. It would be cool to hear the timbre of things kind of shift over time a little bit more. I only say that because the inherent nature of a shiny little pluck like that. If you think about shiny little metallic things in the real world, one of the most interesting things about them is how they shift, right? Like how light plays with them and how when you move them just a little bit, like your perception of them changes and blah, blah, blah. So I always like making metallic sounds shift a little bit more over time than other sounds. That's just me. Freaking entertaining, this one was. Been working a lot, started at an AI company. Really? Which one? And congrats, big ups, well deserved. I hope you're doing well over there and enjoying the journey. Like the analogy. It's a good one. All right, Dead World. Here we go. Demon Tech. Work in progress idea. Don't mind empty spaces. All right. Really great resampling. Really great resampling. I love the little granular touches. Luffs are hot all the way around. Back off of them. Doesn't need to be quite this loud. Really tasty sound design, by the way. Good on you. This is really good stuff. Really clever use of the hats in conjunction with the kick. 210 sawtooth synth is flying out of the speakers. Might want to dial it back just a bit. The limiting is throwing off the balance and perspective at points in the track. There's plenty of peak and valley action in a couple of spots, but you'll notice that like these could be down, these valley moments down here, these guys here, they could be down a bit more, I think. If you had just a few individual peaks in this track would stand out a little bit in that most music in the space currently is pretty brick walled. Like it's refreshing that you've brought such dynamic range to the equation here. So for what it's worth, if you were to introduce just a bit more, it would stand out just a bit more. I'd also bring the low end cutoff up to 45 hertz on this one, 12 dB per octave curve. So keep it super gentle, and then bring the sub down 8 dB because it's pretty heavy right now. Want to make a third drop? You should. You should. It's freaking heavy, man. It's good stuff. What's up? Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's listen. Hey, damn, waffles, dude. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't love waffles? Cool. I'm glad it vibes with you, Candor. All right, now, well, let's do this. Waffles. What do you like on your waffles? Dog or duck? Ooh. That's that thing to the left, man. Yo, Zeko, what's up? Happy Friday to you. This is just downright nasty. Yo. Fantastic. It's fantastic. All right. First off, the bass is super on point. Super on point. If the boys from Parliament were here, they would say, good on you. This is lit. I would add a 1.5 dB overdrive targeting 5 to 7K on the keys. Make them really shine and ring out. Don't touch anything else. Like everything else is great. Just don't touch anything else. It was really fantastic. I really like this one. Might want to wrangle the low end just a tiny bit. Like if there is anything hanging out below like 50 hertz on this one, 12 dB per octave curve, I would eliminate it because it's going to make the bass really accentuated down low with this kind of a curve on it. I personally would put this on. I'd keep it at a 10K top and a 50 bottom. Keep it nice and loose. Super tasty, homie. Good stuff. You guys, I obviously needed a good dose of music from y'all today because we went over by more than an hour. I'm going to see who's streaming right now, see who's up, and we'll move this party over to someone else, over to their place. Let them clean up at the end of the party. Let's see who's up. Shoes, Hap. Let's go see what Shoes is spinning today. This is when I say lovely things like thank you and I appreciate you. And you guys are super duper awesome. Big love. Stay inspired. Make awesome things this weekend so you can bring more stuff back next week and we can have this whole party all over again. Appreciate you guys. Peace out.